First at 6, a Vermont priest who stood just feet away from Pope Francis on Easter Sunday is now back in the Green Mountain State following the Pope's death. Tonight, we're hearing his story of just what it was like to see the Pope in person. ABC 22's Matt Holderman joins me now live in the newsroom to share that story ahead of the Pope's funeral in just a few hours here. Matt?
Lauren, yes. Well, Father Brian Cummings from the Society of St. Edmund at St. Michael's College just finished a year-long sabbatical in Rome this week, and he says the news of the Pope's death broke during his last full day abroad.
It was just a tremendous opportunity for me to be in Rome for Holy Week and to be able to pray, at the tomb of St. Peter for a pope that had such a great impact on the world.
The experience of a lifetime for Father Brian Cummings just came to an unexpectedly somber ending this week in Rome. Monday morning, the Vermont priest says he was getting ready to go out on a walk and take in the beauty of Vatican City one final time for the end of his year-long sabbatical when he saw the shocking news flash pop up about Pope Francis.
And I see a flash from the BBC that the Pope had died. And this was probably around 9:30 in the morning. And I just couldn't believe it. In fact, I put it out onto our WhatsApp to my fellow priests in the program. I said, I just saw this report. Is this true? Has anyone else seen it? I put my collar on and went over to St. Peter's Basilica, and I celebrated Mass with a couple of hundred pilgrims that were there. And there's an electricity in this Jubilee year of hope, in the Basilica normally, and that was kind of missing. It was kind of subdued. It was kind of more reflective. The people were quieter.
The news came as a particular surprise to Father Cummings because of what he had just witnessed the day before, a nearly front row seat to Pope Francis and one of his archbishops sharing the Easter blessing to the crowd in St. Peter's Square. On top of that, he stood just feet away from the Pope as he greeted the crowd on Palm Sunday.
All of a sudden, the crowd sees him and it just erupts. I'm in the fourth row behind 3 rows of cardinals and archbishops and bishops, And so I've got the camera out and I'm taking pictures of him as he's going by. He's within 10 feet of me. I mean, that week, I think, took a lot out of him. And if I had to say, I think that week, he did too much. He overextended himself.
Despite losing Pope Francis just one day after seeing him, Father Cummings says he thinks the Pope went out the way he wanted, with one last great Holy Week, a true testament of who he was as a person.
Nothing was going to prevent him from being with his people. And if he was going to be Pope, he was going to be with his people if it killed him.
Father Cummings added that with Easter season, of course, being the time of year for resurrecting faith, he prays the Lord does grant eternal rest to Pope Francis and gives him the reward of his labors. Reporting live in the newsroom, Matt Holderman, ABC 22 News.
Those pictures really are incredible, Matt. Thank you.